Hello, this is Michael with Manhattan Rare Books, and what we have for you today is one of the core feminist texts of the 20th century, and indeed one of the most influential books of the century. It's the signed limited first edition of Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. Let's take a look. This special signed edition was issued like this in somewhat humble red cloth, under the imprint, as we shall see, of Woolf's own Hogarth Press. There we go. It's signed here in the half title in Woolf's characteristic purple ink. And you can see in the limitation in the back, here we go. This is one of the 492 copies that were printed, and it's number 155, which means it was designated for the American market. Okay, but let's get to the text. Let me take this plastic off too, that's just to protect it. In 1928, Woolf was asked to deliver 2 lectures on the topic of women in literature, and this book is a modification and expansion of those lectures. She actually notes that in the dedication here. This essay is based upon 2 papers read to the Art Society at Newnham and the ODTAA at Girton in October 1928. Well, I didn't know what ODTAA was, and I got a chuckle when I found out what it was. I thought it was some fancy, acronym or Greek something. It stands for One Damn Thing After Another Society. I'm not making that up. That's pretty funny. But, okay, let's back to the text. Woolf begins by considering the topic, as she was assigned to do, women in literature. And she goes through at the beginning, what should she write about? Should she write about Jane Austen or the Brontes or George Eliot? Those have been done before. No, she decides to take the issue to an entire different level, a philosophical and political level, to address the big issue that women have been severely handicapped by a lack of opportunity to write great literature. In probably her most famous line of the book, she writes that all she can do, here we go, all I could do is to offer you an opinion upon one minor point. A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. Well, that's hardly a minor point, and the rest of the book indicates why. Woolf takes us on a journey, creating fictional women who could have or would have been writers, except for the massive obstacles in their way. In probably her most famous section, she wonders what would have happened if Shakespeare had a sister, Judith in her story, who possessed the same talents as William. Would she have been able to develop those talents? Most certainly not. There would have been a million obstacles in her way. And the book still reads as a very modern text. And there's even an explicit reference to lesbianism over here, where this writer she creates, and she's telling a story of possibility of this writer in different circumstances. Let me get over here. She says, first she has to make sure, are there no men in the room? This is great. Are there no men present? We are all women, you assure me? Well, then I may tell you that the very next words I read were these. Chloe liked Olivia. Do not start, do not blush. Let us admit in the privacy of our own society that these things sometimes happen. Sometimes women do like women. I want to point something else out here. Notice the tone. Woolf is taking us directly to her audience. She's talking to them and us. Her nephew Quentin Bell noted that in A Room of One's Own, one hears Virginia speaking. In her novels, she is thinking. In her critical works, one can sometimes hear her voice, but it is always a little formal, a little editorial. In A Room of One's Own, she gets very close to her conversational style. Woolf, of course, was famous for her wonderful conversations, and here we get a glimpse of what it may have been like to be in a room with her. Thank you. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. Goodbye.